Converter, charger, series 8300, 55 amps. What the heck am I going to do with this thing? Guess you have to stay tuned to find out what I do with this. I'll give you a hint. We're not going fishing. Jeff, Arizona Hot Homestead. Today's video, we're going to install this device here. This is a converter charger series 8300, model number 8355. It's a 55 amp. It's a Parallax power supply. It's designed for trailers and RVs. And I'm having to replace the one I've got. I got some weird noise coming from the fan, so I'll give you guys an idea of what that noise sounds like. Sounds horrid, doesn't it? So, and during the winter when you've got your furnace on, and that has to come on every now and then, it's very annoying. The fan is a cooling fan for this device here. So somehow something's gone wrong with it, maybe loose or whatever. But also the problem is that this here, before I went solar, this here actually stopped charging the battery. So there's something else wrong with it. And so even though I'm not going to use this to charge my batteries, because I don't want to charge them from here, I want to charge them from my solar, that I'm going to replace this thing here. Now, I bought the entire unit, but I didn't have to buy the entire unit. It looks like that all I really had to purchase probably was the bottom half, which I'll show you here in this video about taking this off, and also maybe the fuse components there. But I went ahead and bought the whole thing because I got it on sale. I'll put a link down in the description field to the website that I got this from. They're a great RV website. They have basically everything from refrigerators to obviously power supplies and all kinds of stuff. So, but the sale price of this whole thing was just a couple dollars more than the fan itself. So I figured I'd just go with the whole thing and use the parts I need. So let's get to work. What do I need though? I need some tools, don't I? Well, let's take a look at what I'm going to use. Fuse puller, so I can pull out the fuses and put them in this one. I'm going to use this little tool I got here. It's a little nut driver. I'm going to use a 5/16 for right here. And then the other size is 1/4, and the 1/4 is for these guys here, as well as to take off the bottom piece. And then this little star thing here, it is a CRV T15, CRV T15 star, and that is going to take those guys there off. So let's get to work. So this is what it looks like from the back side. I'm having to use a flashlight because I have to turn off the power itself. So I've unplugged the RV. So I don't need access to the back, but just to show you what it looks like in the back here. So this is what I'm going to replace the inside here. Now, because of the plywood that I have here, the OSB, this thing doesn't open up all the way. So when I go to take this off, I should be able to avoid the edge there. What this is, just so you know, offhand, if you happen to watch my videos, that's part of my RV dog door. Let's go ahead and start removing these screws with that star screwdriver. Oh, how well this lighting is coming out. So we're going to replace that board there. So every single one of those fuses are going to come out, and we're going to put it into the new one. And then that bottom piece is going to get replaced there. So what we're going to do is there's 4 screws here on the edges. So we're going to remove those. Power's already off. And then up here we're going to also have to remove these guys here. Actually, not these two here, but this one and that one. And that'll give us access to the panels. Let's go ahead and turn all these off. So let's go ahead and continue the work. I think I need a 5/16 on these. Now on this guy here, this information I have written out here is going to get transferred over to the other one. I'm going to probably get rid of this. I don't know, I may keep it and use the other one. I think I'll keep it. So let's take a look at what's inside here. So again, apologize for the lighting. You've got all the white ones connected here, and up on top here, I don't know how well you can see, up on top is the ground. So these are the neutrals, and there's the ground is up there. See if we can get you a better look at the ground. See the ground up there? So we got, that's the ground right here, and the neutrals are over here on the left side. And then so all the hots go into the breakers. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take out the breakers, just because it'll be easier to take them out and then undo them here, because we're going to leave this together, but I need to get the wires out. The main wires coming from down here out, so I gotta take those out, and that goes off the main breaker. So off of my main is the first one, so this is my main. And then over here, what we're going to do is I'm going to take, if you notice on these guys here, there's all kinds of wires attached to each one. So I'm going to take a picture of it with my phone, and that way I don't have to label each one of them, and then that way I can just refer to my phone on which one goes where. That screw right there and that screw right there is what takes that whole thing off. Alright, so this one here is the main. That one's one of the side ones, and then this one here was in the middle. So regardless of how this guy here was labeled, it looks like I'm going to have to look at mainly this, because the wire that's coming out from down here goes around here and into this guy, and then comes back out and goes into there. There's another wire that also goes in. So when I look at the bottom of this, there's two screws there that you would tighten it. These two here are connected just like they are into the new converter charger, and the new converter charger also has this, the twist tie. So I'll end up taking this guy, unscrewing him off here, twisting this undone, and that will take care of at least the hot part of it. And then the white one is this one here, and just going right to that first one there. So I'll just unscrew that and take this out. So I'll need a standard screwdriver to get in there to do those. And it looks like that'll take care of the AC part of it. So I loosen that screw down in there, pull this guy out, and he's kind of bent, so it means I may have to bend it to get it in there. Now I've unscrewed this, and I took that guy out. Went ahead and unscrewed the 4 screws down here that holds the base. And one thing I didn't notice in the beginning was these were standard screws, so they were I believe it's called your pH. Here's what I use there. This is called a pH 2, so that's what I use there. So this guy here is loose. So now we're going to move over to the DC part. I took a picture of the wiring here and where the battery is, and then and all this here. So now I need to take off these 2 screws here and pull that thing out, so I can take these 2 blue ones, the blue and white one down here that comes from this, and get those removed. And then I'll also take all those others off so I can replace that panel itself. So let's do that next. Now again, my AC power, some call it shore power, has been disconnected. Same thing with the battery. Looks like it might be easier if I go through and remove all those next. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick. So here's your panel, and the white was actually attached back here. The blue is attached to this top one. The white was actually attached to what would be the battery negative. And then this here just says CONV positive, so I guess conventional positive. Now one interesting thing is this nut that's on here is a 3/8. So you know how in the beginning of the video I did where you had everything but that 1/4 inch, now this 3/8. So keep a toolbox handy because you're probably going to need some other parts. So now I should be able just to pull this out. The only difference is there's only a small gap right in here between the housing and this bottom half. So I've got these wires here and the AC wires I've got to push through. So not too sure how I'm going to push those through, but we'll work on those and then I'll show you what it looks like. So you guys remember that noise that I played earlier? That kind of sounds a lot like it, doesn't it? If you notice, I've got kind of there's a screen over here, kind of a bug screen, I guess, insect screen. But you notice how it looks like something's missing on this half. It also looks like it's broken off there and broken off here. And it makes me wonder if something got on this and laid down and broke it basically when the fan was on. I bet you anything that's what happened. So maybe a mouse or something got up in there. Because this would be nice and warm. And mice like something warm, so during the winter I bet you they were resting up on there. I haven't had any mouse problems in quite some time, at least inside the RV that I've noticed. But I bet you anything that's what happened in the beginning. That's where I got the noise in the beginning. Let's go ahead and finish pulling this thing out. So there's the old one. I'm going to replace it with that one. But again, on the tool situation, look at this. That's an Allen wrench. So I'm using an Allen wrench. The Allen wrench I'm using, just so you know, is looks like a number 4. So I don't know what that means. I'm assuming that there's metric and standard on the Allen wrenches, but 4 fit in there absolutely perfect with no play. So we loosen those guys up, and I'll have to still loosen these guys, but these guys here are. Now one other thing I wanted to point out too was when I went to remove this guy here from this housing, this is the type of screw that's on there, and that is that's the smaller hex. That's the 1/4 inch. So that's the 1/4 inch one. So whereas I needed a PH2 Phillips head to take this out, I needed something totally different on the new one. It looks like that the old one is so much bigger than the new one too. So let's go ahead and finish disassembling the new one so I can put it on the old one. Alright, so I needed some slack. Here's the positive, the battery positive. It used to go down through here and up around here. There was this guy here that attached it to the ground along with the negative. So they both ran along the base and it'll follow these other wires here. So I moved this up here, and I took the black one off of here and I moved it around to the side because it connects down there on the bus bar down below. So so hopefully that's giving me enough slack and keep the wires off of this in case that gets hot. So let's take a look at the other side of it. This guy's in place. That's your RV battery positive. See, it was down here on the other one. So I I actually also, there's 3 grommets down through there where those wires are coming through, and I took it out of this one and put it through this one, and then I ran the wire up through here. Okay, the blue one and the white one comes from the new unit, and then the black one also used to connect down here as well. So I had to give myself more slack so I could go up, because it has to come in from this angle. So I think everything's good. I went through all these here. These are all nice and tight. These are the same coating as what they were originally, because luckily I took a picture of everything. One thing here that I want to point out is this here doesn't line up perfectly. So I'm going to drill a small little hole here, and same thing with down below. And both of these here, because the holes just don't line up. So even when I straighten it up, the holes are off a little bit. So we'll have to drill a couple holes and then put the screw in there, and then we should be ready to go on the AC side. Oh, hush, Concho. Concho's telling me what to do. So now over here on the AC side, I got all these guys. So I put right one there. I got everything all done. This guy here is up inside nice and tight. And then what I'll do is after a few months is I'll come back in and I'll make sure that these guys here stay tight. When I pulled these out, I also checked the wires, because I wanted to make sure that the wires, being that they're stranded wires, are real thin. So I didn't want them to break off and have half of them broken off, because if that's the case, then I'll just have to re-strip the wire. So that's about it. So let's go ahead and get the hole drilled, and let's see what we can do from there. We are done. I see no smoke, no fire. I don't know, you guys see any smoke or fire? I don't see no smoke, no fire. Everything works. I don't have all the lights on, but I got that one on. Everything works. So the converter charger is completed. This is the old cover, the 7355 model. Base here is the 8355 base with a new circuit board. Everything else is the same. So thanks for watching the video today. I know it was a pretty long one, but you know what? I think it was helpful. I got a new converter charger, and I should be good to go going forward. No more crazy fan noise, hopefully. And make sure you do that thumbs up button there. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed here, as I try to create an off-grid paradise here and be self-sufficient, growing my own food and raising some chickens and rabbits and all kinds of cool stuff. So you gotta subscribe to catch all the action here on the homestead. Make sure you share the video, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. See you, bye, have fun.